Kaiser players, Diablo down here in Rise certainly has his license, but Teddy as well. He was, especially last year, was looking absolutely fantastic on this champion Beryl right here. Corky and Leona is actually a fair bit of power. As there's a flash forward from Beryl. No flash and a Zenith Blade to come on through, but he lands back-to-back shields. I hope that that calibrated for Andil there, and so the next time the Shattering Strike combo comes in, it's going to work out a bit better, as Sponge is going to be able to land. Here's Beryl going to try and see what he can do here as he turns it onto Teddy. Beryl is likely still going to be dead as Sponge misses! And the Shield of Daybreak actually stuns him up. Still, he's going to die, but honestly, I'm still even more impressed. Still haven't cleared out the control ward that's in the pit, but Lucid not going to be in position to try and stop that one as a bear comes down. Showmaker going to have to deal with this, and Andil, who does find that Shattering Strike. Still, Showmaker has not pressed Flash, will finally do so, as Yehu is going to pick up a turret shot as well. Sponge taking his sweet time on this dragon, but will not be contested. So we'll be able to take that one down as well. So the tempo
it's just very hard to do damage to him, especially as you have these. So often we have like the AP.
Oh, there's a flash in. As Showmaker just holding on to the ult for now.
Okay.
And doesn't have flash. Is able to walk it. Oh, pack it up. The tempo vibes have immediately switched back to DK. Off the back of that one as Beryl walking towards Andil here. Looking to get a stun off. Going to be able to do so, but Andil will vacate the area. Showmaker moving his way over as Lucid is going to take control.
And I think it's just not a fight you're super interested in, considering the Wukong Ori combo's up and available. You're kind of getting
thinking more
off.
about like King Kong, which was like the least action King Kong ever. But anyway, we've got a flash forward here as aiming, gonna have to try and get out of there. Gets into the brush as the rest of his team's coming along. The Grand Starfall not really doing too much here as DK just wanting to get their Corki out. But Beryl might actually be paying for his sins. A lot of damage is coming through as Beryl finally going to be throwing out the flash, but the Cyclone comes in to double knockups and Beryl goes forward to die once again. Finally, they do get the trade, but Rich is teleported in. Shiu going to come down as well. But in the end, it's actually a big trade up for DRX.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like and that single target burst came in to finish off both Beryl and Lucid. It looks like DRX wanted to contest this one.
All right, well, Showmaker, possible turn angle here for DRX. Remember, Sponge and Yehu are pretty scary still. The Rift Herald is going to go down. Beryl in amongst it once again as Sponge taking a lot of damage. Teddy, oh man, you could feel the killer instinct.
Yeah, that was
armed and ready.
That was a Leona with a Celestial opposition. And now I've noticed, you know how we have like 80 carries with multiple swords? This Leona does just have 2 shields.
Yeah, it is a bit of a...
You know, we have dual wielding, this is dual shielding.
Dual shielding sounds almost a scuffle there, but there wasn't actually in the end. As Grand Starfall to come down, flash out from Showmaker, the flash in from Sponge, and from Yehu as well. And Showmaker will be stabbed to death in the end, but bit of an overextension perhaps, as teleports are now coming on through. Shiu trying to set up for this one, but now he's 2 versus 1. The rest of DK continuing the fight, but the Equalizer comes down. The Ram comes on in, and Shiu trying to stop Yehu from doing much more, but the Acathian rains down, and Teddy's able to take down the Monkey, now aiming, having to deal with this. He does do a fair bit of damage, and Beryl is going to be once again falling. Aiming, surviving is a big deal, but this is also sole point for DRX.
Good cleanup there from DRX. You know, the target selection's great. They take out Showmaker on the bot side, and then Teddy finding an angle to punish, to take out Lucid. And it just felt like Dplus kind of scattered, kind of separated. So it's like, you win or lose the fight so quickly. You're not getting that much ocean value in fights, and there's not that much poke, really. Well, there's a bit from Corky, and that's kind of all you sustain.
Going to be the next thing on the menu is DK thinking that maybe they'll just take an outer turret in mid, and that is going to happen here.
Yeah, good pickup. Teddy has to respect them and back away.
Trying to hold on to this bottom outer turret. But Beryl just daring him to press bear, wasn't he? That's exactly what happened. As in goes Lucid, finds a knock up onto Teddy, another Cyclone, and down he goes! Just a little bit of brittle, and down goes Teddy. Shockwave means the end of Yehu as well, as DK spring to life here at 23 minutes.
And DRX try and move to defend the bot lane and just end up completely caught out. Dplus used that pressure they had mid, used the control they had in the enemy jungle to find 2 great picks, and now this Atakan's just a free pickup. And I'm not even sure if DRX can do anything about the dragon either.
Well, you can see there is at least an equalizer there if Rich wants to risk it, but there's also so many brushes, right, with this Ocean Rift. So it's just very dark and scary to get on in here. There's the knock-up on Andal as well as, yeah, they don't want to risk losing too much more. The Otacon is going to be taken, but Andal still has to flash away. And now Showmaker and Shiu are going to be enough to kill Sponge if he sticks around for too long, as the slows will just continue to stack up. So out he goes. And DK now will definitely have control of this Drake and will be able to deny the soul.
Yep, good work there from Showmaker in particular, just cutting down the HP, him and Shiwu, zoning them away.
What they can sometimes do in game states like this is overextend, so we'll see whether Shiwu is going to be able to safely get himself out of this one. What is going to happen? Well, actually, no, he's probably...
And Baron's up.
Yeah, so they are just going to do Baron.
I mean, Pantheon has ult.
He's level 13. He does have level 2 ult as well. It goes a little further, doesn't it?
They are running out of time quickly.
Well, he's also going to take
don't
the
do Scuttle Crab. You need to be there for Baron.
Nah, better get the Crab. He's going to get the Crab, though. As he does ult in, the Baron does go down. What? Crab wasn't even secured, so not even going to be able to get the Consolation Crab.
That passes... I mean, you can't just kill the Rumble. You just don't have the damage.
Well, Yehu is going to get missed by a Zenith Blade. Shoutouts to our previous series as now Showmaker gets dove on by Sponge, but that is not really where he wants to be. Showmaker and Aiming are actually cut off by from the rest of the team though, and Teddy is free hitting.
Okay.
They still just can't get in, as Aiming now might be able to help his Ornn make his way out, but that is way more than DRX could have ever hoped. As building towards G8 for Adam number 3 when that comes through, it's going to be very, very scary. Same to be said for Sponge though. As Lucid once again going to get engaged on, but Beryl very happy to just tank up as much as they want to dish out. DRX now moving over, wanting to get themselves a soul if they can find it. DK really don't want them to do that, but the split pushing on is something they need to respect. Magnustorm collects a couple of them as Aiming is going to be the focus, but Andal going to be going down first. The Ram coming through. Yehu able to actually walk his way out, and Aiming will be taken down. There goes Lucid as well, and this time Showmaker will survive, but Beryl is also going to be dead. Rich picks up that one, and Shiu is just waddling about because he wasn't there.
Andal with a beautiful engage there, managing to find it, and the layering of the damage on top just completely cooks Aiming. You know, Teddy doesn't immediately jump in, doesn't get blown up, the recourse isn't there. And as much as Dplus try to fight their way out of it, it's so hard to reposition after a fight starting in that way.
And that is going to be Ocean Soul going over to DRX. DK still with a slight gold lead, but this is going to mean that DRX can just go for these blades over and over again. Rich's health bar not going to be low for very much longer, as the Ram is going to be called out once again. Gets a cheeky little knock-up onto Sponge, but now he's low, and he's just dead.
Wow.
Gio, I think, overestimating how tanky he was.
Yeah, there's a lot of shred between the double blood ladders, the Black Cleaver on Sponge, a lot of resistance shred coming through, and he didn't actually have that much up there for Teddy.
That's a big deal.
So he is even more of a threat. And I feel like Aiming's been sitting on these items for a while, doesn't have his IE yet.
I've seen this one before. This time, there is the rest of DK over here. The engage from Andal, not going to be quite as pivotal, but Rich is making his way in. Choke point going to be there with the equalizer. That is so much value. And DK now going to have Lucid getting caught out. He has to flash to get himself over this wall. The Void Seeker missing is such a huge deal. My God, I think that just kept their jungler alive. But DRX still going to have their eyes glued to this Baron. And with Shiu dead, he does have teleport.
There's the harpoons from Rich as well. You know, the fact that Annie has the pen she gets from her ult, I believe. She gets pen now.
Yeah.
There's so much.
Yeah, Baron still goes over to DRX.
That's actually a thing to think about, is the fact that so Pantheon gets on.
As far as stats are concerned, although there is a Baron as well. So it's a little bit in favor of DRX. So there's at least that, but this inner turret is just going to fall. He's boosting around, going pretty quick. We'll have that heal back up and available very, very quickly. Build spellbook things. All right, in goes Andal, finds two. Magnus Storm comes down. Beryl getting in amongst it, aiming, trying to kite his way up, but Teddy gets on top of him with the killer instinct. Yahoo does fall, but remember, Shiu wasn't even there. Sponge now going to get knocked up, but Showmaker just not quite enough DPS in this fight, and DRX, they take two and they trade it for the Annie.
The target selection's so good from DRX there, and now Rich looking for more.
Yeah, he's just going to be flashing in here as the redemption comes down. They pick up a bit of a heal, and Shiu is actually able to help out here. The Ram going to get a nice few knockups, but Rich, the walking flamethrower, is so incredibly scary, and DRX should be able to move back, break open this base, and look for an Elder.
Little bit talked about the ornament gold being able to equalize some of the differential. Isn't enough ornaments in the wave, which we've seen teams do before.
Well, right now, DK just desperately trying to hold on to their waves as Andal went so far up into the sky. Yahoo gets into that backline, though. Tibbers goes down, and they're fighting against an Elder, and that is never going to work. As Lucid trying to flash his way out, but it does not happen. Still, aiming is able to get one back, but DRX, they are so incredibly deadly right now.
The front line gone down. It's Lucid Showmaker aiming to try and defend, but it's such hard odds to beat the Ocean Soul in pocket, the Elder in pocket. They got to try and make a miracle defense here.
Yep, Lucid getting poked out by these Void Seekers as well. If two more of those land, I mean, he's just dead. As the Warrior Trickster does come on through, there is another Void Seeker to connect. They are dealing with these waves relatively well, as there is, of course, a Corki and an Orianna. They can actually handle that. But first Nexus turret is going to go down. Rich wrapping around to try and get the pincer move, and it's going to work. He roasts them all as the double comes through, and the Nexus will go down. 39 minutes.